Today I want to talk about playing games. Frequently when you're learning languages, it's boring and dull and you spend your time reading through textbooks, or even when you're reading a book, you're looking things up in a dictionary, and it's not always fun. So today I want to just talk about how you can make it a bit more fun using some games related to languages, and also as a sort of vocabulary builder exercise, but fun vocabulary building rather than the boring stuff. So let's go ahead and just get straight into it. Now, one of the games that you can play, and lots of people play these sort of games in English, there's one that's called Word Runner. So if we look at this, right, what you can see here is we've gone from cat to dog, and the idea is that you have to make a valid word on your journey. So you have to transmute cat into dog. So you start with cat, and then you replace the O to get caught, and then you replace the T to get cog, and then finally you can replace the D. Now that's pretty straightforward. It's easy to do in English. And you can do the same thing in French. Ooh, sorry. So in French, you can go, for an example, from bon to mal, which is bad to good. Good to bad. And then so B-O-N, you replace the B with an M, and then you replace the N. Oh, we missed a step. And then you can replace mol. I don't know if that's a valid French word, but anyway, so this is what you're trying to do. So I don't know if that's a valid word, so in fact I'll probably have to go back to my dictionary and see if this is a valid word, and if it isn't, then this is not a valid string. Now, you can do this as much as you want, right? So, vent to pain. And you can do this in pretty much any language that you've got a dictionary for. So you could do this in Italian. And again, this is a bit of a stretch because you're actually adding a letter here. So realistically, you shouldn't be allowed to add a letter. So you have to follow the rules. But you can try this. This one appears to be valid. So this is what you have to do. But basically, the rules are you pick two words of the same length. And then you try and transform one word, one into the other, one letter at a time. But each step must be a valid word in the language. So there you go, Word Runner. It's a simple process, but it forces you much of the time to go and look through the dictionary and try and find another word, that starts with C and has 4 letters and blah, blah, blah. But it's a good exercise because it gets you thumbing through the dictionary a lot, and you just encounter more and more words that you wouldn't necessarily know. And it's really easy to start out with like a 2-letter word. In English you have 2, for example, and you want to go to do, right? Well, that's relatively straightforward, but still, if you don't know the words or the transformation, you may need to do something else. But you can start out with 2 letters, and then you can start out with 3 letters. and try and get to dough, and then move on to other more difficult ones. Now, another way that you can use games to help you out with your language learning is you can use a different sort of game. So let's look at something like this. Now this is a program called QXW, and it is used to make crossword puzzles, right? Now it's easily gotten, it's free, it's open source, it doesn't cost you anything. You can set up different dictionaries for it to look at. Now this is my Linux machine, and I just use the common dictionary word and British English and French, because they're in there. There are instructions in a massive manual you can read it to do this, to use this program. But it does do something like autofill, because you're saying to me, oh, if I make the crossword puzzle, then I know everything and I know all the words. But actually, that's not the case, because you will, if you just set it in a drawer for a day or two, you will have forgotten what you put in here, mostly. But you can't actually get this thing to autofill for you. And it'll just start going through and looking for various words and put it all in there for you. Now, this takes forever to run, but I'll leave it there as an example. But this is a very good program for generating crossword puzzles. And it's really simple to use. In fact, let me stop that and I'll show you how you can do it manually. If we start again, and it gives you a lot of different options for the types of, well, let's just look at one. The types of crossword puzzles you can have. So there's just a massive amount of crossword puzzles you can have, and what it's given you over here is possible words you can use for this, which is one down. But if I click here and then click again, it'll change the direction. So I click on this, click again to change the direction, but I can click here and I can pick this word and it'll fill it in for me. So if I now go here and pick down, you can see it's changed to words beginning with C, and it's looking for words that will fill all of these blanks. So let's pick calligrapher. And you can see that I've basically bust it, because there's nothing that begins with S that will fill this whole line. So I'm going to need to go back and get rid of that and start again. And pick something that's more likely to have maybe an N. Let's try that one. No. Anyway, you can carry on doing this for ages and figure it out yourself, or you can do a simple blank one, and then you can just fill in the words yourself. You can also get this to print out word search programs. So you could just not make it a so for example, if I wanted to have to put the word bail, B-A-I-L, right? So I've got that here. I can print this out as a word search, so it's not necessarily going to be a crossword puzzle. You can also output word search as well as crossword puzzles. But this is just a couple of examples of how you can use games, common word games that you use in your native language, and adapt them for your target language, and then play about with the language and have some fun, rather than try and always be doing book reading or shadowing or whatever. You can take a bit of time out and you can do a crossword puzzle, or you can do a word search puzzle, or you can just pick a set of words of the same length randomly from a dictionary and try and do a word runner program. So it's a short video today. I hope you like this sort of content. I'll try and put out videos as regularly as I can. If there's anything you're particularly interested in me covering as far as technology and languages, let me know and I will have a go at it. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope you subscribe, and I hope you like the video, and I'll see you again soon.